It's Lynn, your adulting coach. Thank you for joining me here. Today's topic is nostalgia. What to do when we've moved and they want to move back. Tough issue. So what we want to remember, what we want to do is first understand that given our brains, it makes perfect sense that they want to move back. Our brains are always wanting us to seek pleasure, conserve energy, and stay safe. And the stay safe piece is especially applicable to our young adults with autistic brains. Their brain is often fueled with fear. So taking the steps to acclimate to a new place is really filled with fear for them. And then so they withdraw and they stay safe and they don't create the connections to the new place that will help them acclimate to the new way of living at this place. So it makes perfect sense that that's what's going on. However, as Phil Stutz and Barry Michaels outline very clearly in their book, The Tools, and as we know from our own experience in life, and they do too, that growth really lies on the other side of fear. It's just that it's hard to get the motivation to go through the fear when your brain is on fire. So my suggestion is always to practice the connection skills that we build at the Art of Adulting. In particular, the active form of listening versus the passive form. The active form of listening is where we acknowledge their emotion by saying a sentence something like, I see you're sad because you're missing your old friends and your old neighborhood. And then we stop and we listen, and we really truly listen to what they say, because we need to understand the sentences that keep cycling in their brains that are keeping them stuck. That listening piece is the key for connection. The more we listen, the more connected we will be with our young adults. They will feel safe telling us what's happening inside of their brain. And so we need to practice this more than we ever practiced it before, to understand truly what are the sentences that are creating that fear that make them want to not take any action, pull back, and stay safe. Major key. Then we need to remind ourselves to stay in our lane. The role of a parent of an autistic young adult has three components. Our job is to encourage, to warn, and to be there when they want us, when they need us to consult with us. And ironically enough, I learned about those three roles from Linda and Richard Iyer, who are the parents of teaching, or who are the authors of Teaching Your Children Responsibility. Teaching Your Children Responsibility. They're lovely. And I tried to go and find the exact location of where I learned this from them. So I Googled to encourage, to warn, and be consulted. And I learned that the British monarchy actually has those three roles as well. When you think about it, it makes sense. They don't legislate action. They don't do what, they don't advocate to pass certain laws or anything. They are there for the Prime Minister and however many that think of Queen Elizabeth, how many she's seen, to come to them and ask, and she, in her wisdom, in her experience, encourages them and warns them about what could be a problem. So that's our role as parents of autistic young adults, is to encourage, to warn, and be consulted. Notice it doesn't say to solve the problem for them. Instead, what we want to do is recognize, again, Ross Green's list of lagging skills and unsolved problems. These are probably if you look at these are all the human struggles that we have, and they are actually targeted at the struggles that people with differently wired brains have. And you'll see how much difficulty handling transitions is one of the number two challenges for them. And so it makes perfect sense. They have lots of company. There's lots written about the difficulty in transitioning when you have an autistic brain. So you know you're on the right track. This is not anything that we should panic about or be overly concerned about. It makes perfect sense. So what we need to do next is, of course, apply the proactive problem-solving process. And that's when we find the facts in the situation, exactly what we need to start at a place where we can agree on what's happening. And that's why finding the facts is so important. Then we need to understand their steer maps so that they know that's the empathy step. That's when we understand what thoughts and emotions are fueling their actions. And it makes perfect sense for them to be creating the result that they're creating in their current steer map. We need to understand what's going on and what it is that is causing them trouble. Maybe it's not connecting with people, maybe it's school, maybe it's, a new job, a whole new, if they used to be, for example, delivering DoorDash, maybe it's a whole new set of roads to learn about. What is it that's getting in their way? And then we present our steer maps, which say, okay, well, we're not going to move back. We are committed to being here. And right now we don't have an option for you to move back. So, what can we do? How can we support you so that we can make this situation work for you? And that's the fourth step, which is, okay, what's one tiny thing that we can do? Okay, maybe someday you'll be able to move back on your own, but for now, what are you going to do today or tomorrow or the next day that's going to make this a little bit more acceptable place for you to live? So let's follow that proactive problem-solving process with our autistic young adults and create a collaborative solution to what's happening right now. So thank you for joining me today for this. I really do appreciate it. And I'm so hopeful that you will either watch my masterclass, which are the four-part roadmap to systemizing self-reliance with your autistic young adult, or that you'll download the 8 mistakes that parents make that I've made systemizing self-reliance with our autistic young adults. Just know that I've made all these mistakes, and I've done a lot of work to distill what has worked for us and what will work for you inside the Art of Adulting course, coaching, and community. And please come and join me there so that I can coach you on whatever is coming up, so that we together can understand better our own steer maps and the results we're creating, and maybe see if we can't just shift that steering wheel a tiny bit. I would be honored to be your coach. Please join me there. Bye for now.